And now, before we start off, let me just take a quick moment in introducing our guest speaker here, Sunil, Mr. Sunil Arora. Mr. Sunil Arora, though he does not need of introduction, he's already been on our panel a couple of times. And so I'll still take a moment to introduce him. Mr. Sunil is the co-founder of Trace Networks, and he is advising global brands, sourcing companies, manufacturers on the digital fashion and lifestyle for Metaverse. He's providing digital transformation. He's part of the digital transformation consultative solutions for achieving the outstanding performance in the global fashion ecosystem through specialized ERP, PLM, and SMP in the business analytics, predictive analytics, and artificial intelligence. He's worked over 37 years with about 1,000 plus apparel and fashion companies in 50 plus countries, and is consulting with buyers, retailers, designing, product development companies, sourcing and trade companies, manufacturers in the productivity, efficiency, and profitability areas. He is also been consulting and lecturing at NIFT India, IIT India, FIT New York, London, and Paris, and the schools of fashion, and presenting at the multiple conferences, fairs, and events around the world. Recently, he is also been part of the Metaverse Global Council. So this is an amazing body which is coming up and coming into the creation of the future of digital fashion. So there is a lot happening in this particular area, and I would like all the audience who are present in the room today to know and explore more about digital fashion and how it can add value to their business and how you can innovate your business cycles in the near future. So before we start that, let us take a quick feedback and recap from the previous sessions in terms of what exactly it Metaverse. So let us just hear directly from Mr. Arora in the room itself. Mr. Arora, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for this introduction. And yes, we have been taking multiple sessions. I think this is probably 5th or 6th of the session that we are covering today. I'll take the opportunity today to recap onto the previous ones, to give you the idea of what we talked about in the earlier webinars of ours. Besides that, we will talk of and interact with people to ask for any kind of a clarification on these pointers before moving on to some new areas in our forthcoming webinar sessions. So I'll just share my screen. Let me know when you can see the screen.
It is just taking about some time.
It's taking time. Just hold on. I'll reshare it. Are you in a position to see my screen now?
Yes, we can see the screen.
Okay, this is because today is more of a recap session. I'll be moving from one presentation to another, taking care of what all we did in the past, and we'll be talking about that. So basically, we talked about what Metaverse is. Generally speaking, everybody is having a different kind of a definition for it. But in simple words, it is genuinely the next level of internet, the next level of social media, which is more interactive, immersive. It's a new digital landscape, a new virtual world, a virtual universe which is being created. And that's what it is. And generally, everybody is coming out with difficult or simple explanations of it, definitions of it. But what anybody needs to understand in a very simple language is...
Sunilji, sorry to cut you in between. Can you just reshare the screen, because it's the previous screen which is on the web. Yeah.
Okay, I'll just reshare it. Let me know when you can see this. No, it is still the previous screen. Let me reselect the file. Can you see the screen now?
Not at the moment. I think you need to just stop the share and put the PPT in the box.
Stop the screen, and it's going to a different PPT. Just hold on. Is it available now?
Yes, now it is available.
Yeah, does it say the metaverse is a massively scaled and interoperable network?
Yes, that's true.
Very well, very well. So these are the things, these are the slides which we shared earlier, and I talked about what metaverse is and what it is doing. So basically, in simple words, the world of metaverse has games, virtual worlds, then enhanced social media, and various other kind of things. And why does apparel and fashion industry require it? It's mainly requiring it to create digital merchandise. It is required to expand your offerings to a new customer base, which is more sustainable, less wastage, all those kind of things. And the kind of numbers that we shared earlier, although these numbers from the past, for past few months, they have changed massively. So they have genuinely moved from 100 metaverses for gaming, social interactions, concerts, and events to probably 1,000 metaverses now. And instead of 100 million people, which we talked about earlier, generally speaking, it is almost nearing a billion people now, where it is expected to be 1.5 billion by 2022 end. And besides hundreds of metaverses, tech giants like Facebook, Microsoft, Apple, and various others are investing not millions but billions into it already, and expecting to be the size of the market, which was supposed to be a few trillions. Now the numbers have also started coming, and it's expected to be about $13 trillion by 2030 from various, this is from a study from various large management organizations like McKinsey and Arthur Andersen and Citibank and various other kind of things. Besides that, business of fashion and Morgan Stanley, which was the first to give you information on what kind of a size it can have. So it's confirming kind of a thing that it is growing very, very fast. And this is something which is not to be ignored. Then interesting question. We were talking also of who all went into it in 2021 and what all is happening in 2022. Generally speaking, all luxury brands that you know of, any name that you know of, whether it is Gucci or Burberry or whether it is Salvatore Ferragamo or it is Ralph Lauren or Louis Vuitton or Miu Miu or Balenciaga, whatever names you know, they are already in metaverse. They're already started investing and starting even gaining out of it. And that was in 2021. They were the first to join the NFT scenario, and they were in a position to sell the digital twins of their products in the NFT marketplaces. Now, in 2022, even all the retail brands that you know of, whether it is Gap or Zara or H&M or names like Nike, Puma or Adidas, or generally speaking, all large names that you know of in normal retail, normal day-to-day life, whatever you are wearing, all those brands have already gone into metaverse, and that pushes all the medium level brands, all the smaller brands to get onto it and not ignore it. I'll stop share and share another presentation now. Let me know when you can have a look at that.
Sure.
So this is the new presentation. Can you see it now?
Yes, absolutely.
Very well. Very well. So what is happening is that how fashion is entering into that, how luxury brands, retailers, manufacturers, and consumer themselves are getting into metaverse in a big way. That's what we are going to be talking about today. And it's been talked about earlier also. I'll be recapping on that. Today is more of a recap session. We kept it on Sunday so that more people can join. People who have not been able to join earlier, they have the opportunity to understand what it is, what we talked in the earlier webinars. You'll have everything in a summary form, and people then can go on to Sowtex website and can have a look at the recordings of the earlier presentations and other webinars that we have done. So genuinely, everybody wants to know where to start and what are the opportunities for businesses. And generally, here we are mainly talking of apparel and fashion and textile, nothing of any of those non-textile or non-apparel scenarios we are talking over here. Sowtex being mainly connected with the textile scenario and the supply chain of textile and apparel. So we are mainly restricting our views or our discussion to this industry only. So genuinely, the future of business is absolutely experiential. Experiential is the new concept where the earlier e-commerce, which was not having the right kind of shopping experience, it was more of a convenience rather than a shopping experience. So experiential is the new way of doing things now. Experiential is the concept which is getting into metaverse and immersive scenarios, and combining all these kind of enabling uber experiences for retails and corporate businesses, and enabling new generation of commerce and collaboration. So that is what we call as experiential, where the experience which was not there earlier in e-commerce, you can genuinely have that kind of a possibility, not only in e-commerce, but also in collaborating with your buyers. So manufacturers and sourcing companies can collaborate with their buyers in the virtual showrooms, which can be created for them. And in a B2C atmosphere, you have the possibility of having genuine experiential stores. These experiential stores are, again, next generation of e-commerce, where the convenience and the shopping experience is combined together for you to have that kind of an experience, where you can also sell the digital side of digital side of goods, as well as the physical side of scenarios. Physical goods can also be sold in a similar way, because with a genuine integration with your e-commerce. So what we have earlier talked about are like these, that experiential commerce is one concept which is related to the B2C scenario, where we are in a position to give you,
could you say that again?
Custom brand stores, maintaining brand styling and ethos, and allowing multiple people to go for shopping experiences together, and custom access points via brand URLs, as well as store placements in Trace's future metaverse called Paris. So all that is available in the experiential commerce scenario in a B2C atmosphere. Then in the B2B scenario, you have the possibilities of having B2B collaborative sample showrooms or sample environments, where you are in a position to have your buyer meetings, and you have the, instead of having a Google Meet or a Zoom meeting, you can have a genuine meeting with the buyer, where he can join with or without VR glasses and can go through all the digital garments which are hanging in that showroom, and you can genuinely put them onto yourself or onto multiple avatars of people that are already present in your team. They can put them onto themselves or onto mannequins which are hanging over there. So all that is possible. That is what we call as the B2B experiential collaboration scenario. Then the third scenario is about experiential explorations, where we can create virtual factory visits by buyers and customers in your factory environment, where a replica of your manufacturing factory whether it is manufacturing the garments or manufacturing the textiles, can be replicated in Metaverse, and your buyers need not travel from their places to visit your factories. They can have a genuine virtual factory stores, factory tours with you, and it will be as directed by them, and they and their teams can join from anywhere in the world and can have genuine virtual tours, which is not the case like you have sending them a video or something. It is a genuine virtual tour of that factory with or without VR glasses. So all these are the use cases which we have talked about earlier. Now, over to you, Sunil.
In all the cases that you have brought together, and today we have the opportunity of even having few people who have joined in from Bangladesh for this particular session. They would like to know more about what exactly it is. If you could sum up the entire into the benefits part. We understand the metaverse and we understand the B2C and a B2B application. Now, if you were to take it from the benefits to the businesses as of now, so where do we start connecting the dots here?
Absolutely, absolutely. I'll come out with these benefits for you. Genuinely speaking, metaverse is you're in a position to see the screen which is already there on my this thing.
Yeah, you had shared the screen on use cases.
Yeah, I'd shared the screen on use cases. Let it remain over there while I talk about the various kind of benefits which are available, and then we can have interactions also. So genuinely, metaverse is a concept which is in a position to solve the present issues which the industry is facing, as well as it is looking at the possibilities of future growth it can provide to you. Genuinely, problems of sustainability, problems of wastage, environmental pollution, heavy upfront investments, long cycles of manufacturing, then customs, shipments, returns, payment follow-ups. These are the normal issues that the garment and textile industry faces. So Metaverse is in a position to help you on all that and give you benefits of giving alternate ways of solving that by giving digital solutions. Then it also giving the possibility of having an experiential way in which the things can be done, where it gives you a novel experiential way to sell and to create new earning streams from digital only garments. So that is what is possible out of metaverse concept, which is literally pandemic free. So that is what the great part about it is. The pandemic has taught us a lot of things, and it has given us possibilities to look at digital fashion in a totally different way. A new set of consumers have emerged as digital only consumers, so you can genuinely sell it to them. The designs can be created even in pandemic environments because it does not require any manufacturing to be done. So it is literally pandemic free. You have short design to sale cycles. So they are very short design to sale cycles. You create it today and start selling it tomorrow morning. So it's from creation to consumer wardrobes in a few hours rather than a few months, which is normally the case in physical business. Then it is a very scalable business. So scalability of business without genuine investments and efforts and hassles of manufacturing. So this is the major scenario in this, that it's a very scalable scenario without any kind of hassles of large investments or large efforts, huge manpower and hassles of manufacturing. It's not there. Then global outreach of the brands or your manufacturing capabilities to new geographies without any kind of boundaries. So there are boundaries on the physical side of business where you need to ship physical goods. When you need to ship digital goods, there is no problem on that. And it's very fast. It is automatic. It is reaching global outreach is very easy. So you can create your brand and your capabilities can easily be exposed to global consumers. then it is also reaching to a new category of consumers. The reason why large fashion and apparel organizations are getting into this is the reason that they want to address new set of consumers, which are Generation Z and Generation Alpha. And these are new set of digital only consumers who understand and are only keen to buy things in a digital way, because they are available online for from 15 to 20 hours. And a person who is available online from 15 to 20 hours, he would like to express himself as the avatar in a certain way, and the only way to express that is a digital way to do it. So that's what it is. It also gives you to engage better with your loyal consumers, loyal customers in a true immersive and evolving way. It creates sustainable collections, no pollution, no carbon footprint, no wastage, genuinely no shipment problems, and genuinely no payment follow-ups. So these are the kind of benefits it provides. I'll come back with some new concepts later part of this webinar. Over to you, Sonal.
So you just talked about few areas in terms of B2B and B2C. And just in the we understood the concept of B2C or maybe D2C when it comes to sharing the concepts and designs. But when it comes to B2B, and this is, I think, which you mentioned it to be a very scalable area, and I can, being part of the sourcing platform also, we often come across these challenges where interaction with the users and interaction between the users, basically, the buyers and sellers become slightly challenging at certain times, because there are samples which needs to be exchanged, and there are conversations around the samples, and people would like to see it, they would like to feel it. They would like to see how the drapes fall on the garments. In case if we were to put these things together, these elements together, how is Metaverse addressing some of these challenges coming forward?
Generally speaking, it is giving you a lot of virtual try-on possibilities, and people are already using Clo, Tuka, and Browseware and Optitex and other things for their sampling. So genuinely, I'm utilizing the same files which these 3D solutions are creating and putting them into Metaverse possibilities. So genuinely, I'll just share a video for you that how it is possible and what all can be done. I'll just stop my share again and show you a small video. Let me know when you can see it.
Is this something? I think something is popping up on the screen. It's still taking time.
It's taking time. Yes, I can understand.
So in terms of the digital fashion, if you were to evaluate where we have gone through a area where we've created pilots on digital fashion and runway collection, but the real time deliverability of picking up and showcasing it through a digital avatar or an NFT, that still remains area.
Yes,
you can see your screen.
Yes. Now you can see my screen. This is what is possible on my platform, where you can have the possibility of creating your avatar like this. You can make an avatar, upload your picture or a selfie. So this girl has come, uploaded her picture, given her basic information about name, gender, body type, email address, etc. And in about 90 seconds, you have the possibility of creating an avatar of hers. That avatar can then take lots of garments on the right side, which is from multiple brands associated with us, and it can be virtually tried onto her avatar. And generally, I can put any kind of garments onto her or any kind of movement onto this 3D avatar of hers. So this girl can have multiple stances or movements like these, and I can put any kind of garments from multiples of brands associated with us, complete 3D real looking avatar. So both avatar as well as the garments can be sold in NFTs, and these can be sold through your virtual stores, which will be created for brands, or they can be experienced with your buyers in virtual showrooms, which can be made as per your designs. And what else I can do? I can change the backgrounds. By changing the backgrounds, I can genuinely make use of this concept in a fashion show, in a trade show, in travel environments, various kind of advertisements. So all that is possible. So this is just to show you the basic aspect of it. Now I'll take you to another screen, which is let me know when you can see it.
I think it's still coming up.
Yeah, it takes a bit of time. I understand.
I think what you just showed recently in the previous video is just an immersive concept that can start coming up and people can start using it immediately. Is it?
It is already started being used immediately by several brands. We are already connected with a lot of them, and we do not wish to take names because we are bound by the NDAs. So it's still not available for public, but yes, it started running. So can you see the screen now?
Yes, we can.
So, okay, I'll just give you a preview of a store and how it looks like. So generally you can have a store like this in which you can move around. These are your avatars moving around in a 3D store. This 3D store can be built exactly as per the way you want it. There can be clothes over there, which are 3D clothes. You can interact with all of them. You can wear whatever you like and try it out like this. She's just clicking on the mannequins and the clothes come on to hers. You can have bags or whatever. There can be accessories, garments, textile, whatever you want to sell over here. Non-fashion genuinely. You can go into the near the mirror, see yourself over there, or you also have the possibility of calling any of your friends or loved ones from anywhere in the world and help you in that shopping. So we are giving you a genuine peer-to-peer scenario, peer-to-peer interaction. You can call your friends and loved ones, and they can genuinely have the possibility of being in this store environment and help you in shopping. So this is to give you that concept. Then I'll further like to share another part, which is about the overall.
This is very interesting.
Yes, it is very interesting. And yes, all it requires is your imagination, genuinely, and nothing else. So if you have that imagination, then yes, it can do a lot of things for you. And you need to believe that it is already happening like that, because it has started happening like that. I'll just share another video. Just give me a minute. Sharing is a bit of an issue on over here. Sorry about a little mess, because I'm wanting to share a video and I'm not able to find it. Just give me a minute. Yes, I'm able to find it now. Let me know when you can see it. Are you able to see it now? No.
No, it's still, I think, coming up. And the previous one was really quite catchy in terms of the imagination of retail.
No,
and I'm sure
I'll give you even a bigger thing, which will show you what trace avatars can do what kind of garments can be there, what kind of a landscape can we build, what kind of an overall city can be built on that. I'm coming out with that. So let me know when you can see it. Yes, I believe you can see it now.
Yes, we can.
Okay, so this has some voice also, so you can have hear it on the trace anthem. We call that trace anthem, and this is giving you a complete vision and future that we are coming out with very soon.
Yeah. Metaverse, as we get its first started, transport you to a better earth. It's not for the faint-hearted, but those feeling blues. A new way of identity, getting into reality in the place that you'd rather be. Connect with others, not in a trap for manner, because you won't get stuck when you're caught in the web. Free, set your mind free if you're willing to roam. A new experience with a click on the go. Everybody, let's go, go. And if you need a face for all your digital presence, you gotta live with the trace. The NFTs that you can fit in, okay, close to your body and like a body that'll stick all the way. Yeah, I'm talking about the tokens you wear. That's digital, that's 8A through policy said. Place the trail, cause right now no one compares. From the inside, just like we gotta pull.
You're looking for Trace Network, create your entities of a thought. Trace Network, you can take it wherever you want.
It's the future that we're introducing. A new way for us to connect and being human. Setting up multi-chains to bring freedom to you. In a way you can blink, yeah, this rhythm is true. True power is what we hand to the people. Go into the world where you can be heard and we see you. And know what you're about in here. You're a star without the blue face. You can still get your avatar on, yeah, without being tossed by the wind. Moving with time, staying ahead, no losses you win. And you won't be left behind, no matter the location. This lifestyle for Metaverse, you know it's amazing. And reach, function the best indeed. The one you can bank on, the trace NFTs. Yeah, you know we're the best indeed for all the problems. Yeah, we got the remedies.
Trace Network, lifestyle for Metaverse. Trace Network, it's what you're looking for. Trace Network, create your entities of a thought. Trace Network, you can take it wherever you want. Trace Network.
Yes, thank you. So that is what it is. That is the kind of vision that we have. We are in a position to create not only retail environments, we are in a position to create a complete city with multiple retail, entertainment, manufacturing, and overall atmospheres of showrooms or corporate offices or entertainment and lifestyle industry scenarios, or lots of manufacturing facilities which can be visited by your buyers in a very simple virtual tours. So this is what a Trace can do. These are all the possibilities which are there.
So I really love the complete concept that you've created. And at the same time, when it comes to the physical commercialization of the entire entire thing for a business, because ultimately what we understand is while the concept and it looks very imaginary, and though it is realistic because we have seen the gaming, we have seen avatars, we have seen the movies, and there is a lot happening in this particular space. So definitely digital fashion is going to be the future. But in terms of the adaptability and the commercialization as to how a smaller business, a brand, or a fabric or a material kind of companies, how do they benefit out of this, and how they can implement in their own business, or how do they start thinking into this particular area, so that tomorrow, once things are coming in, it's like a parallel universe which is getting created. And if tomorrow they have to be part of this parallel universe, how they can get benefited out of it. So can you just share some more information about this particular area?
Sure. I'll definitely share it. So genuinely speaking, for brands or retailers, it's a very, very simple scenario for them to get on to making a digital showroom, which can be a concept store of theirs, or it can be an actual commerce store. The difference between a concept and a commerce store is that in a concept store, they can probably show the new designs which are created by them, whether it is textile or garments or accessories. They can be shown to specific consumers or a loyal consumer group or a club which you have built of loyal consumers, which you can show and have a social rating over there. So that's a concept store. Then the same thing can be sold as NFTs in digital only way, the way I have shown you in the showroom that I built, and I've shown you that, where you are moving around as avatars. You can call your loved ones and help you in shopping, and you can buy things in digital form, or it can be connected to your e-commerce, and you can generally have the possibility of selling things or buying things in a phygital form, where there is a physical form which your e-commerce is selling or your stores are selling, and there is a digital form which virtual stores, experiential stores from Trace are selling that. So it gives you both these possibilities. But the biggest scenarios in which it can benefit you is about genuinely an engagement scenario, where you are in a position to engage your earlier consumers, your bored e-commerce consumers, into a new way of engagement with the brand. That's one aspect. Then the other aspect is you have the possibility of having, if you are a manufacturer or a retailer or a sourcing company, it gives you the possibility of having an augmented forecasting, where you are in a position to have real-time data added to your expensive trend analysis, forecasting, and predictive analytics. The forecasting that you're presently using, the trend analysis that you're presently using, it is using basically your old data. It is using the data of last 6 months or more, and coming out with all those kind of trends. And those trends and forecasting are ultimately on which you're basing your collection sizes or colors or numbers on that. And genuinely, out of that, 50% of that is genuinely never gets sold at those prices. 50% of things definitely go on to some level of wastage or discounts. So those kind of things can further be added upon, where augmented forecasting from digital scenarios can give you a real-time data, where you are creating everything in digital only form, selling it in digital only form, creating it today and start selling it tomorrow morning. And in about a few days time, you have the data available for you, giving you a genuine interaction scenario. You have the detailed statistics of the new digital collections and their tractions, and you can genuinely see from that traction which styles are doing better, which colors are doing better, which silhouettes are doing better, which geographies are doing better. So dependent on that data, which is real time, and adding that to your trend analysis, forecasting, predictive analytics, which is giving you some data which is of your past, combining that, you have a better possibility of understanding what to make, how much to make, where to make, how to distribute, what to produce, so that it creates lesser wastage for you. It creates lesser environmental pollution for the world, and it creates more sustainable scenarios. That's what we call as augmented forecasting. That's a new concept which we have come out with, which is forecasting augmented. So generally, this is the biggest thing which we can do as a manufacturer, as a retailer, as a sourcing company. Then, because of easy experimentation of design, colors, silhouettes, geographies, so on and so forth, you have the possibility of doing things without putting in too much of costs and timelines of sampling and manufacturing. So easy experimentation, easier response monitoring through involving either loyal consumers loyal customers to evaluate that and socially rate them, or you can generally start to sell that immediately in a much faster way and take traction of that and create possibilities of understanding what physical manufacturing that you need to do. Completely integrated to your e-commerce, complete phygital scenarios. This is what is creating a level field for budding brands, budding designers, budding creators to match with the LVs of the world. We are creating an environment which is giving you that level field. Besides that, you have social commerce, peer-to-peer interactions out of that, where you can call either your buyers in your virtual showroom sampling environments, where your showrooms can have all those possibilities, where you can have genuine merchandising sessions, business building sessions, all those kind of design sessions can be done over there with your buyers. So that is what we call as experiential collaboration. So that experiential collaboration can be utilized by large manufacturers, or anybody in textile or apparel industry can utilize it. Then investments to do that, or teams required or manpower required to do that, are very, very small. So small teams, small investments are good enough to create big possibilities in the metaverse world. So that's what it is. Then you also have various real estate options and various other kind of scenarios where traction of digital can get you traffic on the physical side, and the vice versa scenario, various gamification and incentivization scenarios, which can be built, and they can be built in terms of our discussions with you and making a genuine metaverse strategy for you. So that's how we proceed on the overall process. So these are the kind of benefits, commercialization, possibilities, and these are the kind of things that we talk about, and these are the kind of possibilities we are bringing to the world. Over to you.
Here, I would like to also invite the fellow participants who are attending to this session. In case if you have questions, why don't you put on your questions on the chat box, or you can put the questions on the Q&A session. I mean, this is going to be really, really interactive. We would like you to take the opportunity of taking questions directly with a very, very senior tech consultant we have fortunately in the room once again. We have a question from Ruchi. Ruchi is saying, so this is Ruchi, just wanted to know if we have a meeting with someone in the other country, can we do it on a metaverse?
Yes, very easily. Like you are doing it on Zoom calls. You are having those kind of meetings, like the meeting that we are having right now. How easy and better it would be that you can have that in metaverse, and we can have a genuine atmosphere, an immersive atmosphere, in which it looks like that we are sitting all in one room, rather than at different places we are seeing everything in a 2D environment. We can have an immersive atmosphere where we can all be sitting in a single room and interacting with each other. So that is what is possible in metaverse. And I would like all the people to also tell what companies do they belong to when they ask questions.
That's going to be a wonderful advice. I would suggest all the members who are in the room, please do mention your company name also. And at the same time, if you can rename your company with your display name, that will be very good for us to understand and take some important questions based on what your backgrounds are. I have a very, follow-up question, an important follow-up question on just what you just mentioned. We can create a very immersive environment. So if we were to give this kind of experiential kind of environment right on a Zoom to our audience and to our members who are sitting and joining us from different countries, how do we create something like this on Zoom itself? I know we had spoken about it in our initial session, that down the line we would take some advantage of putting something like this, and we create some framework where we invite people to come and join the session, and they can be a very different way. It can be avatars talking to each other, and can be question answers coming in. So
we are already creating that platform, and generally speaking, probably in next month or something, we'll come out with a platform where we'll be in a position to give you something like that, and you will be in a position to join as your avatars. You can create your join as avatars, and you will be in a position to interact as avatars. So that platform will come soon, and maybe with the next version of Zoom also, these things would be possible in a certain way.
Wow, that's going to be very wonderful and informative, and I'm sure it's going to be very experiential for the people because of sometimes the fatigue of just being around on a session for a longer time pulls away the attention. So once you are in an environment where you are also part of the engagement and interaction, that will definitely have a very different kind of experiential thought for most of us. So just moving on to another question, while I wait for members to post their own questions and in the chat box or in the Q&A section, you also mentioned about how do we put an engagement of a showroom in an environment where a buyer is sitting at let's say in US, and we are sitting in our showroom in Asia, whether it is India or in Bangladesh. We are sitting there and we want to showcase something which is, a buyer wants to know what kind of themes that are coming in, or what are the new collections that you are going to be putting up. How do we portray something like this to a buyer in a very experiential manner?
Absolutely. So like the showroom which I had shown you, in the store which I had shown you, in which that girl was moving around, that was more of a B2C environment. You have the possibility of creating your sample showroom, your sample room, which every manufacturer has, every exporter has, and normally he calls the buyers into that room, and it is built and it is done up well, and you hang various clothes over there, and there are many coins and other kind of things. The same environment can be replicated as an experiential collaboration atmosphere, in which you can either call the buyers to come and interact with you, or you also have the possibility of sending the link of this to him and his team. They can move around in that themselves, see the things, and you can genuinely see, sitting at home, you can genuinely see what are their likings, which garments are they trying, which garments are they testing and interacting with, which they are rotating and seeing. This can be totally connected to your e-commerce, not only e-commerce, it is totally connected to, in a manufacturing atmosphere, it is connected to your ERP or to your PLM or to your costings or to your inventories, and it can give you complete information about that. So all those kind of environments, which can either you can call the buyer to have interactions with you, or you have the possibility of sending this atmosphere in a link to the buyer, and the buyer and his team moves around in that themselves independently, and they see the collections, they can try out those collections. It is only a specific people who can enter that from the buyer side, who can enter and who will have the possibility of seeing the new collections, the new samplings, and that detail will keep coming to you, and then you can interact with them to make your physical collection.
So if I were to just ask you, is this something which is currently available for the people to completely log in, and it is more like a SaaS-based kind of a solution which people can plug and play kind of thing?
No, it is not for people to log in. It will be specifically built for the manufacturer or sourcing companies. So we are already building that for multiple sourcing companies and manufacturers. And yes, same things are not available as a login or something. They'll be available as a specific environment which only they can be using, and only authorized people would be utilizing that on the manufacturing side. But in a B2C environment, you'll be in a position to go into that, make your avatar, buy anything that you want, and buy and go back home. So that would be in a B2C environment. In a B2B environment, which is an exclusive environment of the buyer or the manufacturer, There only the buyers can join, which you allow to come in, or only your authorized people can be there. Like, and no, I mean, generally all people cannot be moving around in your showroom. There are only
Okay.
specific merchandisers or specific authorized people you allowed in the showroom, because it has a lot of new designs, a lot of new scenarios are there, which you do not want to expose to others. So
Okay.
it will be an exact scenario like that. The one is a B2B environment in which logins are not available. It is only available to authorized people. The other is a B2C environment in which logins of any general public, you can come, make your avatar and enter in, and you can buy, move around in the store, buy or not buy, just move around and come back. All that is possible.
So that's really interesting, where I can see that in the last 2 years when the COVID was at its peak and buyers and sellers, there was traveling was virtually on halt. If something like this would have been there, and I'm sure now it is coming into place, and because of certain things that have happened in the past, the new innovations and creations are coming in. So it will be really lovely for people to come over and just log into your showroom and see, browse through the collection, and of course everything through a security gateway where you can control who's coming in and your teams are there to support them. That's going to be a lovely concept, and I'm sure that's going to be the next thing that is coming up for the manufacturing industry.
Undoubtedly.
So we have a question coming in from PS Chehel, and on behalf of Sandeep, Pebble Clothing, Noida. While having on a Zoom meeting, we need a virtual interaction, collecting information personally. But while we are on the Meta meeting, where will the data of the conversation being stored or recorded? I think that's what he wanted to
Just
mention.
getting onto blockchain. All these are blockchain environments. Everything is stored on blockchain.
Okay. So the information is available to the admins through the blockchain technology, and they can trace. So the complete concept of traceability along with the sustainability is existing even in the design concepting style, I would believe.
Undoubtedly.
Yeah.
Undoubtedly.
So I hope, Mr. Sandeep, your question has been answered to your understanding. And in case if you still have anything else, you can still put it in the chat box or in the Q&A section over there. So do we have and I see that there is an interesting conversation happening. If there are any more questions, or if somebody wants to have a live question, I could see there was somebody who raised the hand twice during the conversations earlier. In case if you like to have a direct conversations on the Zoom, you can just raise your hand, and we can unmute you, and you can have a question directly with Mr. Arora on the session. So take that advantage of Zoom, and as we say, that technology is giving you a lot of options of how the interaction can happen. And I would like to just reiterate once again that Mr. Arora is now joining us from Vietnam, and I am sitting in India, and we are in Gurgaon. So you can see a lot has happened in the last 3 years. The communication patterns, the communication styling, the adoption to the technology has gone to a next level altogether. And with Trace coming into this particular sphere, and the kind of concepts that Mr. Arora is sharing to us right now, I would say that's going to be a lot of revolutionary changes that are coming in, and we can expect coming things over the next course of action in the near future. So while we still get some questions coming in from the people, and I am sure we have few more minutes before coming in. Okay, we have a question coming from Mr. Nikunj from Moglex, where he's saying, can it be possible for me to have multiple meetings at a time through my avatars, and can I access this conversation?
Yes, it's possible, unless you are wanting to speak in them. If you want to attend them, there are several meetings you attend where you do not need to speak, you only need to hear. There you can definitely have multiple meetings at one time. But in the meetings where you need to speak, presently it is only one, because you genuinely need to speak behind that.
So I would just like to give a short about the Mr. Nikunj as a VP at the Moglex. It's one of the big unicorns in India, and they are also doing something in terms of the e-commerce. They're very aggressive in e-commerce area. And Mr. Nikunj, yes, as Mr. Arora mentioned, that there can be new possibilities where you are exchanging conversations across different formats and different meetings. You are around in different meetings at the same time. Of course, when you are having a live conversations, you would like to be part of it in the background. That is something I'm sure with the technology moving so fast, there can be scenarios where you can put in your views or leave the recordings or put it in the chats or create a data bank for that. And your avatars are putting the questions on your behalf in that board meetings. So a lot, I would say, is coming up in that particular space currently. And we would love to see what all are the new things that are part of it. So any other questions at the moment, guys? We still have few moments and we can still take few more questions before we wrap up today's session on the lovely Sunday morning in India. And the place where we are, we have a sunny Sunday morning after a long, wet week, complete week that we had in Gurgaon. So particularly where I am, and I'm sure Mr. Sunil, he keeps on traveling throughout the world. And the last he was in Singapore and then Amsterdam. So it is lovely to have conversations around this particular set of engagements coming in. Okay, so I believe there are still more people who are still contemplating as to what should be the right thing. And we've kind of covered a lot in this particular session. So before we go and we finish this session, I have 2-3 more questions. I thought maybe let people in the room take the advantage of this particular session. But I have a question for you. You did mention about predictive forecasting in your conversation. And while the predictive forecasting is again talking about the trends and the forecast and the stories coming in, how can a normal manufacturer, whether it is from the fabric side or from the trims or from the garmenting side, how they can use this predictive analysis? Is it something wherein they can pick up the trends from the internet or from WGSN and a similar kind of trend forecasting companies and create virtual avatars around those trends, whether it is the silhouettes or the colors, and they can have people walking around like a small fashion or a digital fashion show within the showrooms?
No, it's not like that. You have mixed up a few concepts, generally speaking. Generally, you use forecasting and predictive analytics and various other kind of trend analysis kind of solutions which are available, WGSN and various other. There are not only WGSN, there are several solutions available, AI based, non-AI based, and various kind of things. And large retailers, small retailers, they are all utilizing it to come out with how much to make, in which styles to make, what colors to make, what assortments to make it in. All those kind of questions are normally solved by that. Unfortunate part about that technology is that irrespective of you utilizing whatever AI based scenarios, there are still several things which never get sold, because it is not very easy to come out with a figure that this particular t-shirt should be made in 4 colors or 10 colors and these quantities and these sizes, and this is the geography it will sell in, because all the data is being taken from previous interactions, previous things on internet, previous details, data on internet. And on that, you calculate predictively, you predict the next level of demand based on that. So demand analysis is calculated based on what was selling earlier. There are several great predictive scenarios available, and that's how fashion industry has been operating till now. But everything of this is on a past data. What I am talking of is real-time data, and we call that concept as augmented forecasting. In augmented forecasting, besides you have data from various other kind of modes, from predictive analytics, from trend analysis, from WGSN, from ABC, or whatever. That data is available with you. I'm saying use that data in addition with the data which I give you from digital sales of your products. And I'm giving you real-time data of that, where you are creating a collection digitally, not manufacturing it as yet, and you are selling it on experiential stores, which Trace creates for you, and you are in a position to see the traction of each and everything. What is selling, what is getting virtually tried upon, what is being interacted with, in which geographies it is interacting, where people are showing interest. I'm able to give you all that detail on real-time scenarios. And as soon as 15 days, not only 15 days, genuinely, when you put your collection to sell tomorrow morning, which you created today, because creating it on digital fashion is very easy, very fast. So you're creating it today, putting it for sale tomorrow morning, and as soon as you put it on sale, my calculations on all interactions is available for you to see in a dashboard. So you can genuinely see which styles you have created in that collection are creating a buzz in the market. That is where you can utilize that data, which is real-time data. It is no calculation. It is real-time data. That real-time data can be utilized for your planning the manufacturing aspect of the things. So you've not created everything. You've not manufactured anything. You've not invested heavily into it. You have created only digital collections, which is a low investment scenario. You are selling it globally on Trace platform, which is again a low investment scenario, low investment stores built for you, selling everything in a digital form. People are coming, they may not be buying it, but what they are interacting with, what they are trying, what they are showing, what they are touching, you are in a position to see all that. You are in a position to calculate all that. You will have the data of all that. That data can be utilized, which is a real-time data, which is a much better data, much better than the past data which is available with you. That is what the concept is. So you're combining the data which you're getting from your normal modes of predictive analytics, and you're using the data which I'm giving real-time data, and utilizing augmented forecasting to utilize this data and give you much better ways of creating what requires to be made, what requires to be manufactured, which styles can do better, which things can do better, which colors can do better, which geographies can do better. So that is the concept of which utilizes experimentation, because digital fashion gives you a fast experimentation scenario. It combines response monitoring in a minutest way. So response monitoring, then it gives you the complete forecasting, augmented forecasting. Because I have that data available with you, I can easily collate and give it to you in a dashboard form. And that dashboard can generally tell you what all is to be made, where it is to be made, how it is to be distributed, etc., etc. The questions which you're not able to solve now, Metaverse concept is able to solve that for you.
So I really understand now the clarity on the predictive data and how it can be used. And just to add on to a last question from my side, while this is something where a lot of users have to log in, they have to come, they have to try out the merchandise. How are you ensuring that there are more users joining in for this to Trace at this point of time? How are you building up on that particular front, where if the users, if the manufacturers or the fashion brands they start coming up, they start creating a digital side of their own garments and start putting it on the platform. How can people come in? How are you building up on that front also? Would you like to
Genuinely, all that is
share a
getting
few
done.
updates on that?
Yeah, certainly. All that is getting done on your concept store. It is not on my platform. I'm
Okay.
building that platform on your concept store. That
Okay.
concept store is getting promoted like your e-commerce business gets promoted. More and more people start to come on it because your e-commerce is also promoting this digital store of yours. Your physical business is also promoting these digital stores. You are putting large chaos on your brick and mortar stores to give new possibilities of being on digital scenarios to your older and new and loyal consumers. So you are trying to promote all this game, and in that promotion scenario, this starts to get more and more people, and you give them an incentive. You give them an incentive to interact with the clothes and tell you, socially rate them, and that rating is what you can generally utilize for your planning.
Absolutely. I could now make a complete visualization as to how any manufacturer can create a parallel store within its own showroom and have it digitally connected to its website, or and give the access to the users across in different geographies to come and try it on, so that you have a minimalistic merchandise or the designs within your physical environment, and the virtual environment you can just multiply it to a number of colors, silhouettes, and maybe the prints, and then let the user see and let the buyer evaluate and see where he is picking up, what is dropping, what is his liking coming in. So I can now visualize in a much more clear way that how this can be quite a revolutionary change in near future. So I see that a lot is coming up, and we've covered a lot in this particular session today in a 1 hour, and we're almost towards an hour and 15 minutes in this conversation up here. Team Sotex has just shared a link to all the members. If there is any questions, or if you still like to have any conversations with, or you have any clarifications on the subject, you can connect with the consultant, Mr. Sunil Arora. You can the Team Sotex has shared a link. You can leave your message. You can let us know in case if you still have some questions while you are just exposed to the new concept of metaverse for some of you, and how this can be how this can be a source of change, and how your business can be perceived in near future. A lot can be thought in this direction, and we would have a follow-up session with some new ideas and new updates coming in from Trace Networks in the following days. So please stay in tune, and we would like to have some more information coming in from that session. So before we sum up today's session, I would like to just share an important update once again. We, as part of the Team Sotex, have collaborated with the top associations in Bangladesh, and we are co-hosting a big textile sourcing meet in Bangladesh in September, which is an opportunity for textile manufacturers to go and engage with the manufacturers in Bangladesh, which is now apparently nearly the second largest market in the apparel manufacturing, and soon is going to become the largest manufacturing hub in Asia. So take the opportunities of going, experiencing, shaking hands, and building up the collaborations in this strategic business meet. And even the Bangladesh members are very, very proactively looking out for alternative supply chain, and is really banking on the partners in Asia to come and partner with them to be and they're looking out for innovative fabrics in wovens, knits, and yarns. So this is an opportunity which you can explore. We'll share some more details to everyone after this session. We'll send you a personalized information about this. And as we sum up today's session, we have already discussed a lot on the trace and on the digital fashion and how it's changing the scenarios in the business. Please feel free to put on your questions. And Mrs. Sunil, before we wind up this session, any closing remarks from your side?
I would say people need to attend these kind of sessions, understand these new concepts. These are some things which are not to be ignored. Whether you are a small organization, medium size, or a large organization, Metaverse is there to stay and give you a lot of benefit. Understand it, get on to that, start tasting it, start utilizing it, and then you'll definitely see it creates a separate earning stream for you.
So I have just shared the link again to everyone in the chat box, just in case if anybody has missed out. I think I just got personalized messages where we said the link has not come in. So I've just shared it again to everyone in the chat box. So this is an important information going out, and I'm sure these sessions can be a lot in terms of opening up your mindset, be update on what is happening on the fashion and with manufacturers and supply chain coming in. It is important for both the sides to keep understanding, and you know how you have to develop your future scalability in the business models. If you have not adopted to the digital side, this is also something which you need to start positioning yourself to the global customers. And I'm sure with every one of you knowing about how the global environment is changing, this is going to be a game-changing move once you present yourself in this particular environment. So with this, I would like to wind up today's session, and we would like to thank Mr. Sunil Arora for sparing up their valuable time and joining us on a Sunday morning and now a Sunday afternoon for everyone. So with this, we are looking to sign off today. And thank you once again for sparing your valuable time to all the members who have joined us in today's morning session. There will be a lot more that we'll be covering up in the future sessions, and we'll keep you posted on the new developments happening on the SowtexConnect on this as well. So with this, I would like to say goodbye to everyone, and thank you once again, Mr. Arora, for joining us for this session.
Thank you so much. It's a great opportunity. I look forward to meeting you again.
Right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.